Good morning. I'm here in Brierley Hill. More specifically, I'm at St Michael's Church in Brierley Hill. Now, I'm here for two reasons. Number one, I've got an appointment to see the Archdeacon, and number two, I want to look for a particular tomb, and a particular gravestone of a war hero. If I find that grave, I'll tell a little bit more about it. It's a beautiful day. This is St Michael's Church. It's in Brierley Hill's on a hill, obviously, as the name suggests, and it is in a prominent area of Brierley Hill, as you can see. The church, let's get round the other side so we can have the sun on it. Have a close look at the church first, and we'll try and find the grave of the person who I'm looking for. The gravestone, the person I'm looking for was a hero, a war hero of the Anglo-Zulu War. The Anglo-Zulu War, you may remember, was where Michael Caine fought the Zulus at Rorke's Drift, which was just after the Battle of Isandlwana. Well, this conflict was with the same gentleman who we're looking for, and it is Anthony Booth, the grave of Anthony Booth, who won his VC at the Battle of Intombi River, which was a few days after the Battle of Rorke's Drift and Isandlwana. I don't know where his grave is, so I need to look for it. This is St Michael's Church. As you can see, it's made of red brick, and it looks as though it's had many extensions during its history. I had a quick look on Wikipedia, and there has been a church here since about the 1750s. I think in its present state it's been in this condition since about the 1900s, and as I say, it is in quite an imposing position in Brierley Hill. Let's go and see if we can find the grave that we're looking for. I believe it's down here somewhere, so I've been told. Well, after much searching, I have actually found the grave of Anthony Booth, and it's here. Let me just tell you a little bit more about him. Anthony Booth was born in Nottingham, but then he joined the British Army. He joined the 80th Regiment, which was the Staffordshire Volunteers. The 80th Regiment joined with the 38th Regiment to form the South Staffordshire Regiment. Sergeant Booth won his VC on the Intombi River. This was where some wagons that were supplying the nearby town, I suppose, they needed supplies. They needed rifles, they needed ammunition, they needed food, and a series of wagons was sent to supply the town. Unfortunately, the river in Tombi was quite swollen at the time, and they couldn't quite get across with the wagon, so they decided to camp for the night. It was a perfect spot for the Zulus to attack, and like Isandlwana, it was poorly defended. There was not proper precautions weren't taken, pickets weren't posted, and the Zulus were watching them all of the time, of course. The Zulus attacked the encampment, and their position became serious indeed, and a lot of the soldiers were killed in the attack. The leader of the company, the captain, had already been killed. Captain Moriarty had already been killed. This left Lieutenant Howarth in charge. He, realising the seriousness of the situation, he fled the camp, leaving the men to fend for themselves. He found the nearest horse and rode off. This left Sergeant Booth to try and retrieve the men, get them back safely to camp, which was about 3 miles away. He fought a brilliant rearguard action, getting his men back to safety. I think he only lost 3, and these were 3 that decided to take a shortcut, and they were cut down by the Zulus and killed. For his actions, Sergeant Booth was awarded the Victoria Cross. The fate of Lieutenant Howard, he was court-martialed about 8 months later back in England, although he was acquitted, which seemed rather strange. But however, he was made to relinquish his commission, and he left the army. The commander at that time was Sir Garnet Wolseley. He was commander of the British expedition in Zululand. He was so appalled by this decision of his acquittal that he had the notice read to all the officers and perhaps the men. He was not happy that Howard was acquitted. Sergeant Booth came back to live in the West Midlands, here in Brierley Hill, and I think he worked in local industry. And as you can see, he died here in, I can't see it now, well, he was 54 when he died, in 1899. Anthony Booth, not to be confused with Anthony Wilkes Booth, who of course shot Abraham Lincoln just 10 years was it? 10 years or so previously. Because of his actions, Sergeant Booth was gazetted to colour sergeant. The colour sergeant previously had been killed in the ensuing conflict, so the position was vacant. It's a lovely morning. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. If you've enjoyed it, then press the thumbs up button. If you're watching on the television, you won't be able to do this, but if you're watching on your tablet or smartphone, then you will be able to do it. Stay tuned next week. We're in another rural area of the West Midlands. I'm not going to tell you where it is, you'll have to find out. But before then, there's going to be another video of me attempting to fly my drone. I've had it several months now, but I did go over to Ettinshull with my son, and that's going to be the next video. So thanks again for watching. Hope to see you all soon. Bye.